The year was 1643, a time of great upheaval and uncertainty. The English Civil War raged on, tearing the nation apart with its brutal conflicts and political strife. Amidst this turmoil, in a small manor house in Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, a child was born who would one day change the world. Isaac Newton, frail and premature, was not expected to survive. His early days were marked by a struggle for life. He was so small, he could have fit into a quart mug, his mother would later say, a testament to his fragile beginnings. Yet this fragile life held within it the spark of a genius that would illuminate the world, a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. Isaac's father, a modest farmer, died just months before his birth, leaving the family in a precarious situation. His mother, Hannah, remarried when Isaac was 3, leaving him in the care of his grandmother. This separation was a significant emotional blow to young Isaac. This separation left a deep scar on young Isaac, fueling a sense of insecurity and loneliness that would stay with him throughout his life. He often felt abandoned and isolated. Despite a difficult childhood, Isaac showed an early aptitude for learning. His mind was a fertile ground for knowledge, and he absorbed information like a sponge. He was a curious child, fascinated by the workings of the world around him. The natural phenomena that others took for granted sparked endless questions in his mind. At the age of 12, Isaac was sent to King's School in Grantham, where he lodged with the local apothecary. This environment nurtured his growing interest in science and the natural world. This experience sparked his interest in alchemy and the secrets hidden within the natural world. The apothecary's shelves filled with mysterious bottles and books were a treasure trove for young Isaac. He excelled in his studies, demonstrating a remarkable ability for mathematics and mechanics. Numbers and equations came naturally to him, and he found joy in solving complex problems. He built intricate models, including a working windmill and a wooden clock powered by water. These creations were not just toys, but early manifestations of his inventive genius. Despite his academic prowess, Isaac's life was far from easy. The demands of farm life were ever present, and he was expected to contribute to the family's livelihood. His mother, widowed again, tried to pull him out of school to help run the family farm. She saw education as a luxury they could ill afford. Isaac, however, had no interest in becoming a farmer. His heart and mind were set on higher pursuits, and he often found himself lost in books while others worked the fields. He yearned for knowledge, for a chance to unravel the mysteries of the universe. The stars above and the world around him were full of questions waiting to be answered. Fortunately, his teachers recognized his extraordinary potential and persuaded his mother to allow him to continue his education. They saw in him a rare intellect that could not be wasted. And so, at the age of 18, Isaac Newton arrived at the hallowed halls of Trinity College, Cambridge, ready to embark on a journey that would change the course of scientific history. Here, he would find the intellectual freedom and resources to explore his ideas and make groundbreaking discoveries. Cambridge, in the 17th century, was steeped in tradition, its curriculum dominated by the ancient teachings of Aristotle. The university was a bastion of classical knowledge, where students were expected to absorb and regurgitate the wisdom of the ancients without question. But Isaac Newton was not content to simply accept received wisdom. He was a young man with a restless mind, always questioning, always probing the depths of what was known and what could be discovered. He devoured the works of the great scientific revolutionaries of his time, Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler. These were the thinkers who dared to challenge the established order, who looked to the heavens and saw a universe governed by laws yet to be understood. He questioned everything, relentlessly seeking deeper truths behind the accepted dogma. Newton's insatiable curiosity drove him to explore the very foundations of knowledge, to peel back the layers of accepted truths and uncover the underlying principles that governed the natural world. Newton's mind, like a prism catching a beam of sunlight, refracted knowledge into a spectrum of brilliant insights. Each new idea, each new discovery, was a ray of light that illuminated the darkness of ignorance. He filled his notebooks with ideas, diagrams, and equations, laying the foundation for his groundbreaking discoveries. These were not just idle musings, but the seeds of a revolution in thought that would change the world forever. He saw patterns and connections where others saw only chaos, his mind constantly seeking to decode the elegant language of the cosmos. To Newton, the universe was a grand tapestry, woven with threads of mathematical precision and beauty. During his undergraduate years, Newton immersed himself in the study of mathematics, optics, physics, and astronomy. He was not content to merely learn what others had discovered. He sought to push the boundaries of human knowledge, to explore the frontiers of science. He was particularly drawn to the work of René Descartes, whose analytical geometry provided a new framework for understanding the physical world. Descartes' ideas were a revelation to Newton, offering a new way to see and describe the universe. But even as he absorbed the knowledge of his predecessors, Newton yearned to push beyond the boundaries of what was known. He was not satisfied with merely standing on the shoulders of giants. He wanted to see further, to reach higher, to discover truths that had eluded even the greatest minds of his time. However, his time at Cambridge was not without its challenges. The university, with its rigid traditions and conservative faculty, was not always a welcoming place for a young man with radical ideas. Financial hardship forced him to work as a sizer, a student who performed menial tasks in exchange for tuition. This was a humbling experience, but it also taught Newton the value of hard work and perseverance. Yet, these humble beginnings did little to dampen his soaring intellect. Newton's determination and brilliance shone through, even in the face of adversity. He was a young man with a vision, and nothing could stand in his way. He graduated in 1665, just as a devastating plague swept across England, forcing the university to close its doors. This could have been a setback, but for Newton, it was an opportunity. Little did anyone know that this period of isolation would become a crucible for Newton's genius, a time when his most revolutionary ideas would take shape. In the quiet solitude of his home, away from the distractions of university life, Newton's mind soared to new heights, laying the groundwork for the scientific revolution that was to come. In 1665, the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death, spread terror throughout England. This deadly disease, which had previously decimated populations in the 14th century, returned with a vengeance, causing widespread panic and despair. The streets of England were filled with the haunting sights of victims and the eerie silence of deserted towns. As fear gripped the nation, Cambridge University shut down, forcing students to return home. The once bustling halls of academia fell silent, and the intellectual pursuits of many were abruptly halted. Students and scholars alike were scattered, seeking refuge from the invisible menace that threatened their lives. Isaac Newton, then 23 years old, retreated to the quiet solitude of his childhood home in Woolsthorpe. This rural village, far removed from the chaos of the cities, provided a sanctuary where Newton could escape the horrors of the plague and find peace in isolation. What might have seemed like a setback became a period of unparalleled intellectual ferment, a time of extraordinary creativity that would later be known as Newton's Year of Wonders. In the quietude of his home, Newton's mind was free to wander, unburdened by the usual academic pressures and distractions. Freed from the constraints of academic routine, Newton's mind roamed freely, exploring the mysteries of the universe. He spent countless hours contemplating the natural world, observing the stars, and pondering the fundamental principles that govern existence. This period of introspection and observation was crucial in shaping his future contributions to science. It was during this time that he made some of his most profound discoveries, laying the groundwork for his revolutionary theories in mathematics, optics, and physics. Newton's work on calculus, which he referred to as the method of fluxions, provided a new mathematical framework that would become essential for future scientific advancements. The story of the falling apple, though perhaps apocryphal, captures the essence of Newton's genius. This simple yet profound observation led him to question the forces at play in the natural world, sparking a curiosity that would drive his investigations into gravity. Observing the apple's descent, he began to ponder the nature of gravity, wondering if the same force that pulled the apple to the ground might also govern the motion of the moon and planets. This line of thought was revolutionary, challenging the existing notions of celestial mechanics and laying the foundation for a new understanding of the universe. This simple observation sparked a chain of thought that would ultimately lead to his law of universal gravitation. Newton's formulation of this law provided a comprehensive explanation for the motion of celestial bodies, unifying the heavens and the earth under a single, elegant theory. It was also during this period that Newton conducted his famous Prism experiments. These experiments were pivotal in advancing the field of optics, as Newton meticulously studied the behavior of light and its interaction with different materials. By passing a beam of sunlight through a prism, he demonstrated that white light is actually a composite of all the colors of the rainbow. This discovery challenged the prevailing theories of light and color, which had been largely based on the works of ancient philosophers. This groundbreaking discovery revolutionized our understanding of light and color, laying the foundation for modern optics. Newton's work in this area not only expanded the scientific knowledge of his time, but also paved the way for future innovations in the study of light and its properties. The plague year, though marked by tragedy and fear, became a pivotal turning point in Newton's life. The isolation and solitude provided him with the opportunity to delve deeply into his studies, free from the distractions and demands of university life. In the quiet solitude of Woolsthorpe, amidst the turmoil of a world ravaged by disease, Isaac Newton's genius blossomed, forever changing our understanding of the cosmos. His time in Woolsthorpe was not just a retreat from the plague, but a retreat into the depths of his own mind, where he would uncover the secrets of the universe and lay the groundwork for modern science.